All right, here we go, another live stream. So we're in the CT97 gallery cab car. I got to do this quickly. As soon as I hit start, I need to get the doors open and get the train prepped. We've got about 90 seconds, so here we go. Let's do this quick. Doors open. All right. Lights on. We got to get all this set up. Those on. Crossing lights, gauge lights, and then we want like so, like so. All right, that's all good. That's all good. I think that's just about everything. And we've got 45 seconds to spare. Beautiful. So now we can hop outside and take a look at our rig here. I don't know what it is about these cab cars that fascinate me. There's 3 of them now. There are 2 in Peninsula Corridor, and I believe there's 1 in... Oh no, there's 4. There's 2 in Peninsula Corridor. There is 1 in the NEC. So what is that? That is 3. Okay. I think it's just the novelty of them. I don't know. I find them to be very, I don't know, unique. All right, there's one pulling in right there. So we'll hop back in. And I haven't really been able to like keep my stops on this route. It's kind of tricky, but we're gonna do our best. Close the doors. All right. Release all the brakes. 8 miles to Sunnyvale. Here we go. And we do have kind of a delay. Yeah, because we've got our power unit. So this is us right here. And then our power unit is at, if I can swing the camera around, our power unit is at the other end of the train. So we do have a bit of a delay. But we'll be on our way here. It's what time is it? It's a little bit after 7 a.m. And we've got several trains that I can see moving around. So it looks like a busy day in the Bay Area. I love it. All right, and what was I saying? Oh, about making stops. Yeah, I really kind of struggle to make my stops on this route. It's tricky. It's a big, kind of bulky, cumbersome train that doesn't accelerate or stop easily. And we're just going to do the best we can. I feel like I got the braking dialed a little bit better the other day when I kind of tested this route, and it's fascinating, right? Because it looks so close. Hang on, let's hop outside. Yeah, I mean, I guess there's a good bit of distance right there, but from our perspective, we look awfully close. Yep. Oh, there they go. Slide onto another track. And I feel like I was getting a bit more familiar with the brakes, but the brakes are definitely, well, they feel like the brakes of a freight train rather than a passenger train. So we'll do our best with these. And what else? I think that's about it. Oh, and we also, because we're in America, we really need to be using our horn a lot, which sounds kind of, I don't know, it sounds kind of strange to say, but we're really going to look for these little whistle placards, because we do need to sound our horn before we get to crossings. So yep, that's about it. And I don't know how long it'll take. It's 40 miles total, 30 miles. And it'll probably take us, I'd say an hour, maybe. But we'll just see how it all works out. And I'm going to tap the brakes here just a little bit. And of course, then our speed limit picks up. And I'm looking, the placards are, it's just a W on a little white board that indicates you need to sound the whistle. So we will look for those. And the way that you know you missed the sign is when you go over a crossing and your bell is not going off, you missed the sign. That one right there? Nope, that was something else. Close our window. And we're okay on speed limit. We got a yellow signal coming up, so we'll be mindful of that as well. Something I found really challenging was using the brakes, which they're not cumbersome to use, but they're not, it's not the most intuitive process. So using the brakes and looking for those whistle signs, those W placards, and also actually like applying the horn, sounding the horn, it can be kind of tricky to do all that as you're getting into a station. But that's half the fun, right? All right, so we've got another 7 miles to Sunnyvale, and about 7 minutes to get there, and we're not, there we go. We weren't at 60, and that's always sort of a benchmark for me as far as timing it, right? If we got 7 miles and we're going 60, we know we're going to get there in about 7 minutes, but we can pick up the pace here a little bit. And this is one of the preserved DLC, one of the preserved routes. We'll take a look outside again. All right. And this converted over from Train Sim World 2020 to Train Sim World 2. I mean, I don't want to say that I don't know. I don't want to say that I'm pleased with Train Sim World 2. I'm frustrated by it, but at the same time, I mean, it works. It does all the things that we want a Train Sim to do. They seem to be patching some of the bugs and getting things sorted out, so it's not, you know, it's not perfect, but I don't know. I guess it just works. It's our Train Sim. And when you think about how many other Train Sims there are or are not on the market, there's probably, I'd say there's like 2 or 3 other major ones, and then there are a couple of sort of, I don't know, open source or something like Zusi, which is really more of a training tool, I would say, than a train sim. All right, we got a blinking yellow up here. Is that for us or is that for the next track over? That's for us. All right, so we'll continue to monitor. So something like Zusi, you know, I like the idea of it. I like the realism of it, but the 2 issues that I had with it, one is everything was in German. I couldn't find a translation. And the other thing was, it is definitely, I don't think it's intended to be fun in the way that a train sim is. I think it's intended to train people how to operate, teach people how to operate trains. And that's kind of a different thing. That's not exactly like playing a video game for fun. That's more like work. All right. I think that may have been a whistle placard. So I like Zusi. Or I guess I should say I like the idea of Zusi, but I think that was definitely a W. But I don't think I could find myself playing Zusi for any significant amounts of time. It's just not that kind of a game, not that kind of a sim. And I thought we were coming to a 50 up here, but then that sort of went away, so we'll speed back up again. So yeah, of all the train sims that are available right now, I guess this is the best one, or at least the best one for me. You know, your mileage may vary, whatever you're into, but for me, this is the one that works the best. And I guess whether we were kind of forced into it or not, with regards to new content, right? If you don't buy TSW2, you don't have access to new content because it will not play on TSW 2020. So we were sort of forced into it, but you know, I don't necessarily regret that. And it's Unreal 4.23, bumped up from 4.16, so in that way it is more current. You know, I'll take it. No game is perfect. It's easy to think that there could be, if a developer just did this or just did that, oh, the game would be perfect, but it's not always the way it works out. I'm getting a lot of glare. I don't know if you can see it as we go past them, but I'm getting a lot of glare off those placards, and I'm not able to see like whether or not they have a W on them. Well, this is a little bit I mean, we're a train. It's not like you're going to hit anything. If it's not on the track that you're on, you're not going to hit it. But that's a little unnerving, blowing past those stop trains at 80 miles an hour. All right. That is something they did do that I really like, is when you select the what units you want to use, whether it's miles or kilometers, there's a third option now that is essentially, it just makes it whatever would be appropriate for where you are, so you don't have to remember to switch back and forth all the time. If you're on a North American route, it's going to be miles, and if you're on a European route, it's going to be kilometers. All right, so I'm going to back down the throttle and get ready to brake here, and these are, I think the technical term is they're lap brakes. So you apply them, and the longer you apply them, the more they apply, and then you sort of park them at whatever that pressure is, and that's what slows you down. So it's not something that you set to a level and then just take your hand off it. You have to like set it and then reset it, for lack of a better word. Well, what I find is about 800 meters, 700 to 800 meters is where we want to start applying. So here we go, and we want to go right about there, and then hit it a second time. Yeah, we're going over a crossing, and we did not sound the horn there, so that's on me. Another little tap of brakes. And we are, wow, we're going to be not just a little bit on time, we're going to be a lot on time. Interesting. All right. And this is not, train doesn't have great handling, I guess is a good way to say it. But I think we nailed that one. Beautiful. And we're early. All right, that's a good way to start the route. So we'll hop outside. Let me set this first. All right. Then we'll hop outside. There we go. The good people of Sunnyvale. Getting ready to head into work. Man, the camera. I got to hop back inside. I like the external views, the exterior views, but the way the camera bounces around, it just makes you crazy. And I think we're going to have a little bit of we're going to sit here for about a minute, so I'm going to have a little bit of water. I'm trying to hydrate more. And I'm trying to think what else. You know, when they released this batch of preserved DLC, converted DLC, they released so many of them. There's really not that many left to go. There's like another 4 or 5 maybe. And there's some locos and things, but I think more of the routes themselves as what we want to see for the preserved content. Because that's, I don't know. I mean, the locos are cool, but I feel like you can do a lot more with a route than you can with a single loco. But they brought a ton of them over. And again, that's the balance. I'll get these doors closed. That's the balance, is we wanted all that DLC available the day that Train Sim World 2 released. Of course, that wasn't going to happen. And so the next best thing is, get it as quickly as possible, right? But then when we get it as quickly as possible, now we're saying, well, you carried the bugs over, you didn't fix it, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. So it's an impossible position for a developer to be in. But in fairness, that's, nobody forced them to be a developer. They knew what they were getting into. And so I guess that goes both ways, because we know what we're getting into when we buy a game on day one. But for the most part, I am pleased with Train Sim World 2. I don't know about Steam. Steam Locos in-game. I've heard that it can be done. I've heard that it cannot be done. As far as like soft particle rendering and being able to make the smoke and steam and various things that come out of a Steam Loco look good, that the developers are not confident that they can do that. And that's the reason why we might not get Steam. Unknown at this point. I mean, I guess I could take it or leave it. I have a sort of a fascination with Steam Locos, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they would be something that I would spend a lot of time in if they brought them into the sim. All right, that's an X. I don't know what the X means, but what we are looking for is the W. Not there, not there. Wow, that glare is terrible. I think, I want to say I do have the bloom on, and I'm wondering if that didn't contribute. Ah, all right. So that was a crossing. Now, does that mean that we're looking for the X and not the W? Have I been looking for the wrong thing since we left San Jose? All right. Let's look for X's now instead of W's. There is, that one was blank. All right. So Palo Alto next. Beautiful. And what else? There is a roadmap, but as far as new routes, this is somewhat controversial as well, because a lot of the new content is rumored to be Germany, UK, and US. And I think for people that want to see areas, different parts of the world, you know, all the trains, all the railroads from around the world, that we would have more than just really sort of 3 countries represented. So we'll see. But in the meantime, there's certainly plenty of content to play with. I'm really glad that the preserved content can be moved back and forth between Train Sim World 2 and Train Sim World 2020. That's very cool. I was under the impression that once it sort of locked itself to Train Sim World 2, that was it. You were out. I think that was an X. We're going to risk it. Yep, there's a crossing right there. All right, I think the X is what we're after. All right, so we got to look for these now. I feel like the graffiti that showed up maybe 1 or 2 patches ago in Train Sim World 2020, and I really do like that. I'd like to see a little bit more variety. I mean, it's obviously like they've got 2 or 3 textures, and so the graffiti just repeats over and over, but I like the idea of it. If you've ever ridden a train in the US, you know there is a lot of graffiti, both on the trains and on underpasses and things like that. All right, we are looking for the X, so we need to focus on that for the rest of the trip. But I like little details like that. I think that really, for me, it's very immersive and really adds to the sim. All right, I'm trying to learn and memorize all these signals. We got a blinking green now, and we're moving into a yellow, and I think that indicates the blinking green was caution because the following block is yellow, restricted speed. I don't know, and they're all different. All around the world, they're different. All right, I feel like we're getting into a rhythm here. Yeah, there's a ton of traffic on this line. God, that pop in though. Oh, the draw distance. And then our braking, if we're still at nearly 80 miles an hour when we get to Palo Alto, our braking distance is going to be closer to 1,000 yards rather than 700 or 800. Just need to remember as we get closer. I wouldn't say that I've missed any stops as I was practicing, but I've done some panic stops. I think that might have been an X. You know, a panic stop where you're really kind of reefing on the brakes as you get into the station, and I know that's not something the customers want to feel. We do have a little, it's like a G meter almost in the HUD, and I try to use that. I try not to like max it out either way. Keep the customers comfortable, the passengers rather. All right, so we've got there we go, there's 900 meters. Let's get some brakes on. It's a little bit early, but we're about 1 minute 15 seconds ahead of schedule, so it's going to be okay. We can take our time getting slowed down here and still be on time. All right. 30 seconds early. Doing all right so far. All right. Parking brake is on. Let's hop outside and take a look while we're here. Hopefully the camera won't bounce too badly. I think that's a good looking train. Maybe I'm just partial to North American locos, but I think that's it. That's a nice look. And then would that be stainless steel? Aluminum? Unknown. Unknown. Probably not aluminum. Yeah, you want something a little sturdier than that. All right. And we've got about 20 seconds till we close the doors. I'm so not used to being ahead of schedule, like being on time. I'm sort of a little bit flustered. All right, so we'll get these closed, and then from here, let's take a look at the map. Once we get rolling again, we'll take a look at the map and see how we're doing as far as progress. All right. Brakes off. There we go. Drifting backwards down the hill. Here we go. All right, and speed limit looks like it's 80, so we'll get a little momentum here, and then I'll bump the throttle up. I try not to just punch it out of the station. I feel like that is not comfortable. And also with the new physics, you can get some wheel spin. I don't think you get any wheel spin on this train because it's not heavy enough, but you can get wheel spin. And there is an X right there. So we will do our thing. All right, so that, and then we take a look at the map. So we started, I believe, all the way down here. So we're about, at this next stop, we'll be almost halfway there. Okay, I'll take it. That's progress. And we are going to Redwood City, 4.6 miles. And I'm told anytime you activate the horn, the bell comes on. And I'm told you to leave it on until after you are over the crossing. And so that's what we do. I got my track IR ordered. It's on the way. It should be here in 4 to 6 days, they say. And there's a long list of games that are track IR compatible. Most of the sims that I play are. Primarily I got it for DCS and Microsoft Flight Simulator, and also racing sim. So it works in iRacing, works in Race Room, Project Cars, F1 2020, I said of course the Competición, works in all of those. So no problem there. But I don't know if it's going to work in Train Sim World. And there are some games that are they're not strictly like track IR compatible, but they are VR compatible, and there's some kind of a workaround where essentially you kind of cheat track IR and VR together, and you get the functionality of track IR even though the game doesn't have it built in or something. Man, I missed all those crossings. I'm looking for my little X's. I just didn't see them. They're hard to see. So I'm curious. I mean, I know it works in the majority of sims and games that I spend any time in, and I know that for the rest of them, for things like this, Train Sim World, there's probably a workaround. So I'm confident we can get that working. And I also, I looked at Tobii Eye, but Tobii Eye would not work for me because you have to mount the sensor strip on the bottom of your monitor. It's got to be on the bottom. I don't know why it can't be anywhere else, but them's the rules. And sitting where I sit, the bottom of my monitor, between my eyes and the bottom of my monitor is my wheel. So I think the wheel would constantly be interfering with it. Metro North Railroad Productions. That is a magnificent screen name. How's it going? How you doing? Let's get slowed down just a little bit here. There we go. Not quite that. Not quite that far. A little bit, I said. Slow down a little bit. I'm doing great. Made it through another week. Playing a little train sim. And well, we got one more day, and we can put another week in the books. Looking forward to it. All right. The Nippon Shiryu cab car. I did notice, and I guess it makes sense, that none of your achievements carry over from Train Sim World 2020 to Train Sim World 2. It makes sense, I think, because not everybody who is buying Train Sim World 2 own Train Sim World 2020. So I think all the achievements and medals and everything has to start, like it's got to start over. Oh, you subbed. Hey, thanks. I really appreciate that. I really do. I feel like I've got the best audience. When it comes to sim gaming, I love it. All right, so we'll get slowed down for this one. And we got that. We got so much going on right now. I need more brakes. We're going too fast. Everything's happening at once. Gonna coast in here. We're on time again. Again, this is crazy. I don't think I've ever been like this much on time on any of the Peninsula Corridor routes. All right, here we go. Almost missed that one, almost, but I think when we take a look outside, I think we're going to be on the platform. Take a look. Yep, we got all the doors on the platform. I'm leaving that bell on because we've got 2 crossings in front of us. There's one directly in front of us, and there's another one right there. And as far as I know, you're supposed to leave that bell on. So I did leave it on. But we'll get rolling here, and once we get across these 2, we can turn it off again. All right, 7:33:30. Yeah, I can't believe we are on time again. Something terrible is going to happen between here and San Francisco. It's typically the way it goes. Yeah, it's kind of a cold, rainy day where I am, and I find that whatever the weather is in the real world, I try to play that same weather in SimWorld. There we go. Which is super easy with Flight Sim now, because it just brings in whatever the real world weather is. That's what you get in game if you select live weather. There's another train? Yeah, there's really a ton of traffic and activity on this route. I like it. All right, here we go. All right. Both in Train Sim World 2020 and in Train Sim World 2, there's times where you pass through like a certain area of scenery, and the game, it just really, really looks good. I mean, a lot of games, if you analyze them too closely, you know, they're not great. They're not the best. They have little flaws and little defects. So I don't necessarily expect them to be always perfect all the time, but every now and then you look at some of these games and they just look so good. It's a great time to be in sim gaming. Glad I got back into it when I did. All right, we are going just under 7 miles. We're going to San Mateo, and I think that's going to put us, let's take a quick look here. Yeah, that'll be more than halfway to San Francisco. All right, we're getting there. And I guess, I don't know what that is that we're seeing on the street. I guess that's meant to be water or reflection of some kind. I don't know. It's like a weird kind of a blue cast, like a blue glaze. I don't know what that's meant to be. I don't know if that's a lighting flaw or if it's supposed to be wet roads. Unknown. All right, now what do we got going up there? In 2 miles, 80 miles per hour, 79. That's okay. And yep, I think we're doing good. All right, just got to keep watch for our X's. Yeah, I think that's supposed to be wet rain or something, puddles. That's there. Maybe? I don't know. I can't really tell. It does look weird, though. Alright, nothing there. I don't know what to do about the glare. You know what we could do? We can turn down... You turn down the lights. Does that help? Nope. Not a bit. Alright, I guess this time of day, if you have the lights on at all, it gives you that glare. Okay, so it goes. And the next thing I think that we're going to have in gaming is VR with the haptic gloves. And I guess they're testing like full haptic gloves where the entire surface of the glove... Hang on, I gotta mute because I got a cough. Am I gonna make it? Am I gonna be all right? I hate to cough while I'm recording, but I don't know if I can tab to OBS, mute the mic, do all that before I cough, then get it unmuted and get back to the sim before we get to the station. Well, it turns out we were all right. I was able to thwart the cough. What was I complaining about? VR with the haptic gloves. Yeah, they're gloves that have like some kind of haptic surface all over the palm and the inside of the fingers and the fingertips. So when you touch something in a VR game, it gives a little sensation in the glove, in the palm, or in the fingertips that you just did something. So if you flip a switch, the haptic surface responds in a way that makes your finger feel like it just snapped a switch. So when you combine those two in-game, you get the VR headset, you just stick your hand out until the haptic surface indicates that you've bumped something. All right? But the horn, it just never stops. And then once you know that you've bumped the surface, the instrument panel, what have you, then you flip the switch and the haptic glove gives you the sensation that you actually did do something. So I think that's the next step. I'm looking forward to that. I don't know though, VR, I think I have so many trust issues. The idea of like having a VR headset on and not knowing what's going on in the room around you, I think that'd be really kind of difficult, just for me personally. Unless there was some way you could have like a little, like a picture-in-picture or something, an in-room monitor to show what was going on in the room around you when you had a VR headset on. It wouldn't have to be huge. Obviously, it couldn't take up too much of the VR or it would ruin the immersion. But just a little, you know what I mean? Just a little something so nobody can sneak up on you. That's my thing. If I had a VR headset on, somebody's sneaking up on me. Not like that happens all the time, but you know what I mean. Trust issues, man. I told you. I got concerns about the world around me. I like to be on my toes. All right, so we'll get slowed down here. Again on time. We might be on time for this entire route. If that's not a gold medal, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what is. And we are going too fast. So hopefully we get stopped by the end of this platform. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. All right. There we go. Unlock on the right. Set that brake. Release that brake, and let's hop outside and take a look. Palm trees. Bouncing cameras. Passengers spawning out of thin air. I saw on one of the developer threads, they said, we know our people are not good. Our passengers, we know they're not good. We're thinking about getting rid of them entirely. I don't know, man. I agree that they're not good. But I don't know what this world would look like if they got rid of the people. I think you gotta have those. You gotta have something going on platforms. It just looks like you're driving empty trains around. You know, like a ghost town. That's no good. That is no good. And something else, I guess I could have mentioned this earlier, but I don't know any way to open the doors from this car. I think because in real life, the conductors open the doors, or they open automatically on this train. I don't think the driver, I think the driver just drives the train. I don't think the driver opens the doors. So I haven't found a way to open them from inside this cab car. All right, here we go. Pause. There we go. A little power. Yeah, here's our guy. Beautiful. And of course you know this, but if for some reason you don't know this, you can drive it from the other end as well. You can drive it from the Loco end or from the cab car end. All right. So we got, where's this take us to? Millbrae. Yeah, we're getting pretty close to San Francisco by the time we're in Millbrae, so. That's not bad. And what are we, yeah, we're about 45 minutes. Yeah, that's right. That's about right. I can't imagine how rough it would be. You get points for how close you are to stopping on the platform, being on time, that sort of stuff. I can't imagine how many times I'd get dinged if you lost points every time you didn't sound the whistle at the appropriate place. I'd be fired. They wouldn't even let me drive trains anymore. Yeah, and like looking up ahead, I think that's another crossing up in front of us. Is it? Maybe. Maybe. Unknown. I'm going to leave the bell on until we get through this next little part here. Yeah, it is a crossing. Hey, all I can say is I know how loud a train horn is, and even if I let one go like all the way down at the end of this straight section, I'm pretty sure the sound would carry well through here. All right. Wow, this is just... It's like we're driving through a downtown area almost. All right. And again. Another yellow. Okay, there. To get us into Millbrae, I think there may be, speeding. I think there may be one more stop between Millbrae and San Francisco. There may not be. We may go like directly in to the station downtown. Find out momentarily. Do these trees seem a little, yeah. I was wondering if those were needed a little trimming. I think it's safe to say they need a little trimming. All right, so we are getting to a 75, but we'll be slowing down anyway for our stop here for Millbrae. Okay, so yeah, and we're going 74. So we're okay on that one. Let's get slowed down here. About like so. And we're on time, so we can take our time getting into the platform. We don't need to hurry. That's a nice looking station. Very contemporary. All right, we got some little markers out here. where we need to stop. Maybe we want the second one? Yeah, we want this one right here. All right, made it by 13 seconds. Set that brake. Release that brake. Let's hop outside here carefully with the camera. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, it's beautiful. And then if we go here, we got just a few seconds till we need to close the doors. Out there. Brakes off. Here we go. Yep, going right into San Francisco. And we've got 65 coming up, but not for a couple of miles. And after that, I think we will start slowing down as we get into like yard traffic and as we get closer and closer to San Francisco, and then we'll creep the last little bit into the station. Okay. Well, this has been, I wouldn't say uneventful, but this has gone a lot smoother than I thought it would. I can't believe we've been on time as often as we have. I think we've made every stop on time. And what I may do, instead of taking us up to 80 and then back down to 65, I think I might just level it off at 65. We've been on time, so I feel like we're making good time against our schedule. I don't know that we need to really kind of get crazy this far into it. 50 minutes in, I think we can just maybe be kind of smart here. And now we are, yeah, so this is a yellow block. All right, hang on. We had a red there just for a second and went back to green, so let's be careful. I think there's some traffic in front of us, so let's be super mindful of that we don't blow a red signal and fail the scenario. This has happened to me a couple times. If you end up in the wrong cycle, like if you're going fast and the train in front of you is going slow, you keep catching up to it. Every time you catch up to it, you're about to pass into a block with a red signal, so you slow down, it goes green again, and then you just repeat that cycle. So you're constantly slowing down and speeding up, slowing down and speeding up. So let's just relax a little bit here and let that train in front of us continue on its way. So there's that 65. All right. So the blinking yellow, that again, that's going to tell us that we're coming into a red. And there's a crossing. We didn't sound our horn for that. Yellow. So we got 80. We're in an 80 now, and then we're coming to a 70. Okay. Yeah, there's another crossing. I just can't spot the signs for those. I can't spot those placards. And this is going to be a Union Pacific Loco. Beautiful. All right. I'm really watching these yellows here. I feel like we're going to get an unexpected red. Yep, there it is. So let's get slowed down for this, and it may clear before we get to it, but just to be on the safe side. Now hopefully this doesn't make us late into San Francisco. Yeah, there we go. Back to yellow. So we're just catching up to a slower train, and every time we catch up to it, it pulls away from us again. Okay. And we've got, we need to go just under 8 miles in 13 minutes, 12 minutes. I think we can do that. Go third person here. Next to this, what is that, a lake? It's got to be a lake. We're too far, yeah, we're too far inland for that to be the ocean, and it's on the wrong side. So, yeah, it's kind of a local body of water. All right, take it. Still yellow, so we're good there. We'll go a little bit faster. And yeah, I have to think we'll be on time for this last stop. I hope we are. It'd be a shame to hit all of our stops en route. We get all those on time, and then we end up late at the end. Hopefully we'll be all right. All right, so here's another yellow, and a yellow after that. Okay. .5 miles in 10 minutes. Yeah, I think we'll be on time, unless we hit just unbelievable amounts of slowdowns between here and there. I think we'll be on time. There's another service you can run on this same route where you do stop at all these intermediate stations as well. Takes about twice as long. 3.5 miles. Okay. I mean, there's no way. I don't think there's any way we can be late now. We've got plenty of time to spare. I say that, but who knows what's going to happen between now and when we pull in. All right. Red turns yellow as soon as we pass it, so we're good there. 2.5 miles. And I think I'm going to start slowing down now, because what can happen sometimes is it'll route you from one track to another. The track that you're on, the speed limit may be 80, but then the one that it routes you onto, all of a sudden the speed limit is like 40, and you get virtually no warning. So let's get slowed down here, just in case, you know what I'm saying? Shenanigans. Oh, and there you go. Speak of the devil, there you go. We're in less than a mile, a little bit less than a mile. We will be in a 40, so okay. There you go, timing. Alright, 1.5 miles. Yeah, we should be okay. 5 minutes to go, 1.5 miles. I think we're in the clear. Alright. Well, that worked well. I wasn't sure. I'm not used to necessarily driving this train, and it does the brakes. I've not always had good luck with them in the past, so I'm glad it worked out. And how are we in time? Just about an hour? That's perfect. Could not have worked out better. Beautiful. And I think we're going to get a terminal red here pretty soon. And that'll be the end of our service when we get to that final red. Yep, there's a 25. Okay. Can you see? Yeah, you can see a fair amount of the skyline. Let's hop. What do we got? 1,000 yards? Yeah, let's hop outside. Over here. Oh, it's not giving us third person because the end of the train is still in the tunnel. Come on. As soon as the back of the train clears this tunnel, we'll be able to go third person. There we go. Yeah, there's the skyline. Sort of. I think we're missing some bits. Oh dear, hang on. Gotta slow it down to... 10. Okay, this last little bit will be at 10 miles per hour. Same way we started. Okay. Let's go back out here. Very nice. Very nice. All right. And I think from what I've read, all the trains run. There's no place to turn around at either end of this route, so the trains run it with the Loco leading from San Francisco to San Jose, and then they just run it backwards with the cab car leading when they go back to San Francisco. So all of these will be facing the other direction, or facing the same direction as us, but you know what I mean. They're pointed the other way because that'll be when they depart this station. They'll just go straight to San Jose that way. I think I said that right. It might have made sense. Might not have, but you know what? It's the way it goes sometimes. All right. Welcome to San Francisco. And there's both here. There's the, I know that one in the middle there is the Baby Bullet, and the other one is that it's not a GP. I'll take a look. I'll look on the notes for Peninsula Corridor. And I think, we're gonna be. I thought we were so far ahead. I thought we'd get in here like 5 or 6 minutes early, but this last couple hundred yards and then getting stopped and everything, I think we're gonna get in just almost exactly at 8:07. So they've got this, like the distance and the timing and everything for this service. They've got it pretty well dialed, I have to say. It seems very, very accurate, and it was kind of challenging. It was tricky to stay on schedule the whole way. I'm glad it worked out. Oh God, there goes our frame rate. Too many locos at the same time. Yeah, our frame rate is absolutely tanking. All right. So I think they want us to go all the way to the bumper here. So we're going to do that carefully. All the way, huh? All right. Oh God. Did not mean to get that close. Let's see how we did. On that side, we're going to go third person. God, why is that happening? Why is that happening? Oh, it's not. I thought we were closer than that. I mean, look at this one next to us. I guess that's how close they wanted us to be. I thought we were very close, but still a little bit of a gap there. All right. We can turn these lights down, probably turn them off. And there we go. Okay. So I think we were on time. We were a minute early for all 6 of our stops. Fantastic. And 25 feet. Although, well, hard to say, because sometimes the distance counts down and it's only like 2 or 3 yards. Like it says 2 or 3 yards, but then our difference is 8 yards. Regardless, we got a gold medal, so I'll take it. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and call it right there. What is that? A little over an hour? That's perfect. That's perfect. Thanks for checking out the live stream. Appreciate it. See you next time. Take care, everybody.